Welcome back to By the Book Bonus Bets. McDonald, Nejad here, and the selection committee has come out with their rankings, the long-anticipated rankings. So I want to get your reaction to this. You are our college football guru in every possible way, and we've got these top 12. We're going to look at the top 25 here. Selection committee rankings, it leads off, no surprise here. Actually, probably no surprise anywhere here inside the top 12, although, Meg, you might take some umbrage with maybe where some of these teams are located in the rankings. But let's real quick take a look at 13 through 25, perhaps the outside looking in teams. We've got SMU leading the charge. Some heavy hitters in here. I mean, all these teams are pretty great. Your Iowa State Cyclones, Ole Miss, LSU. Looking down the list, we've got Colorado, high-profile team in there, and Army finishing out the top 25. So, Meg, I'm going to kick it to you. What's your reaction to this first selection committee ranking?
I'm not surprised by the top 3 rankings right now because I think all of those teams probably deserve 1, 2, and 3. And you're talking about these Power 4 conferences, right? We lose the Pac-12 going from Power 5 to Power 4 conferences. What I am surprised about, however, is Miami being at 4 because I go back to the Virginia Tech game that they shouldn't have won, arguably.
Should not have won.
They squeaked by Cal as well. And you and I both like Cam Ward. We do. Like, I think Miami is serviceable. Do I think they deserve to be number 4? No, I do not. And I want to bring up BYU in the same argument because we're talking about teams that are undefeated right now, right? And if BYU is a lot farther down, the committee to me is saying we respect the ACC more than we respect the Big 12 right now because they have the same records. And we bring up BYU too. Look at that, 8-0, 5-0 in the Big 12. Now, I want to talk about the expectations heading into the season, however, because that's why I do think these rankings are fluctuating. And I also want to bring up one last team. Let's talk about BYU real quick because this is a massive, massive game this Saturday at Utah, right? And I believe, Sia, the look-ahead line back in June was BYU catching 21 points versus Utah. And Utah, look, they're underwhelming this year. It was surprising to see Cam Rising really not perform, and he's been hurt too. So take that with what you will. But this is a massive game at Utah this weekend. Now, last team I want to bring up.
Let me guess. Signetti, Indiana.
The Indiana Hoosiers, because this team undefeated as well. And you look at them, they are playing such good football. And the reason they're number 8 is surprising to me, but I also believe the reason they're number 8 is because the expectations were 0, basically heading into this season. Brand new head coach. You have Rourke, who's playing really, really well. But I want to bring up, Sia, the Michigan schedule from last season because Michigan was a lot higher in the college football playoff rankings in week 1, like the very first ones coming out. And you want to know who they played? I wrote this down because I didn't want to forget. They played Eastern Carolina, Bowling Green, UNLV, Nebraska, and Minnesota. And like their strength of schedule, we can talk about strength of schedule and why the fact that Indiana is so low when it comes to that specific category. Michigan's strength of schedule was arguably worse, right? So I'm just saying the fact that they're playing Michigan this weekend is like kind of ironic.
Big favorites.
And they're 14.5-point favorites, right? Then Ohio State's going to be the challenge. Purdue, they'll probably get a win based off what we've seen. But the argument for Michigan last season was, yes, they didn't have a very strong schedule, but they're blowing teams out. Guess what Indiana's doing right now? They're blowing teams out. So I think these rankings coming off like the week 1 of the committee bringing out rankings is a true reflection of what the expectations were prior to the season starting.
And we know there's going to be a lot of moving parts here as each week goes forward. We got a huge weekend coming up this weekend, next weekend, of course, as well. I do want to ask you, though, there were some teams on the outside looking in on 13 through 25. I know we had talked about a team like SMU sneaking into the college football playoff. Any thoughts there? Because I noticed it was a plus number for SMU to qualify for the playoff.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up SMU because if I am going to like die on this hill of Miami not being a great football team and getting away with some of these games, then I'm putting money on plus money when it comes to SMU, right? Like, if you're going to give any stock and any reward to an ACC team, it's not going to be Clemson because they just lost to Louisville. So, to me, they're on the outside looking in. It would be SMU. And guess what? I hate to say this truly. As an Iowa State alum, I love the Big 12. we got to stop sleeping on Colorado right now because
Yeah.
with these Big 12 losses from this past weekend, K-State going down, Iowa State going down, that really opens up the door to Colorado. But I do think the Big 12 is interesting because you need BYU to win out and then lose in the Big 12 championship in order for another team to get in from the Big 12 and become a two-bid league.
So many moving parts,
Yeah.
and we will be talking about all of it, of course, on By the Book Monday through Friday at 5:30, but also right here on Monumental Plus, where we're going to look at a lot of futures as we head into the playoff, and then during the playoff, a lot of futures as well.
12-team playoff really shakes up this entire process. It's crazy, it's exciting, it's a brand new era of college football.
Crazy, exciting, and fun. That's what we do on By the Book Bonus Bets and on By the Book. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.